Courtney learns the truth about how the JSA stopped Eclipso. Pat and Courtney go to find Jennie to help them put an end to Eclipso. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Stargirl Episode 10. So we start out decades ago again in this episode. The running theme for this show. We see Pat and Sylvester talking about Eclipso threatening their families. And we end up getting Sylvester talking about a watch that he thought his parents gave him when he was younger, and it turned out to be Pat. And about how chosen family is very important to him. And Pat is his chosen family, and he was willing to do anything to protect his chosen family. And I think this was really well done, because we really get to see how Sylvester regretted what he did to stop Eclipso, and that he dragged Pat into it as well. So it really showed that they were all very sorry for what they did. But again, after the fact doesn't necessarily make it right. And I think Pat should have stood up to him and said, look, we could have found another way, but you didn't want to. And it's, the fact that we're chosen family and I see how much you care about me doesn't make this right. But Pat does forgive him. And I think that's the biggest theme for this, is that it's chosen family and that you kind of need to forgive people. But I think he should have stood up for himself a little more. Then we, of course, cut back to Courtney, Pat, Barbara, and Mike arguing about Pat keeping the secret about what the JSA did to Gordon in Eclipso, and how they had to stop him. And she's so mad that she doesn't trust him or her mother. And it changes the way she sees him, and that really shows during the road trip when Pat and Courtney go to find Jennie, and of course Courtney starts taking it out on him about how much damage he did, and then Yolanda didn't need to think that she was the first JSA member to delete somebody, and Pat, was like, look, I voted no. I didn't want to do this, but I also didn't stop them from doing it. And it's, Pat was honestly kind of a sidekick, but he was just one person. He wouldn't have been able to stop him. And I think Courtney really needed to learn the fact about that. And she kind of does as they're talking to Jennie when they find her. And they find Jennie at the Helix Institute. Now, I thought this was very interesting because it's something that's been in the comics, and they're starting to bring it in. To this, and it was really cool that they brought it in this way, because Jennie's brother was there, but apparently he got caught stealing, so now he's not there, but nobody knows where he is and nobody's saying anything. So I thought that was very interesting. And then when they leave, we get a phone call from Head Nurse Love to Dr. Bones about them coming there. So it's very interesting because it's really kind of mysterious. Like, the whole place is kind of mysterious because they don't tell anybody what the rehabilitation there is, like what's going on. And it seems to be a front, especially when the head nurse stutters when Pat and them ask about Jennie's brother and then see Jennie is there. So I thought that was very, very interesting and very cool part of this. And then we get to the cliffhanger of this episode, the ending of it. And I thought this was good as well, because Pat isn't able to save someone that he really cares about at the end of this episode. And it really shows that Pat, and I think Pat's going to learn from this. I hope he is. The fact that he really needs to start training these kids and getting them more prepared. And I believe Sylvester is getting moved up to being a permanent person on the show in season 3. So maybe he's going to step up and actually start training the new JSA. You know, Pat, I think, should have been doing it all along. I think he really should have been, instead of just trying to protect these kids, even though they are 15, from, like, the world, he should have been trying to get them more prepared and doing more stuff as team, you know, as a team and things like that to really get them more prepared versus just being like, no, 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 pushing them away type thing. So I think he's going to learn from this, and I hope he does. So the effects in this were fine. Had no issues with them. Most of them were practical effects because this was more plot-driven than action. The effects that we do get with Green Lantern, Jennie, and Eclipso and the Shade, I thought were fine. There was no issues with that. I do think that the fact that the Shade was in this again was really cool. I do like the Shade, and the fact that he did something in this that gave everything a twist at the end, I thought was really good because he kind of deceives Barbara, and he does apologize to her for it. So I thought that was really good. So the big thing in this episode was chosen family. And Pat really thinks of Courtney as a daughter, you know, and that's one of the biggest reasons why he was keeping the secret about what the JSA did to stop Eclipso from her. But he also apologized for it and realized that he probably shouldn't have. But again, you know, how much do you really tell 15-year-old kids, you know? Like, what do they need to know and what should they know is the real big thing. And the fact that Courtney really didn't treat Pat very well shows that she's got a long ways to go as well in this. Because she needs to understand that certain things happened and there was nothing that could be done about it because it was decided, you know, with a vote and stuff. And it didn't make it right. And Pat even talks about that. But she needs to be a little more understanding about it, you know, and she wasn't in this. So I would give this episode at least a 7 out of 10. It wasn't a bad episode. The pace is slowed down a little bit because they're trying to give more plot and context to things. So, but I find it very interesting that they've brought Helix Institution into this. So I can't really wait to see what's going to happen with that. You know, leave a comment down below, too. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe as I'll be doing more content. Take care for now, everyone.